The film opens with Teddy Moretto, a man speeding in a stolen police car on a busy highway in Nevada. He appears terrified and anxious, as if someone is chasing him. Unfortunately, the car breaks down in the middle of a desolate sandy road. As a result, he is forced to continue wandering near the Nevada border, carrying a briefcase that contains money and vital documents stolen from a mafia member. Meanwhile, two police officers are conversing near the Nevada border. Valerie, a young police officer, receives a gun as a gift from her employer, Coleman. She practices her new gun with cowboy-like hand moves. Later, the two officers learn that there have been disturbances reported at a wedding not far from the Nevada casino, and they both rush to the scene. By the time they arrive, the situation has degenerated into chaos. Several individuals are fighting in front of the building, and Valerie fires a warning shot in the air. Teddy, a business consultant whom we saw earlier, hits her from behind and slams her to the ground. He raises his hands in surrender after Valerie's partner points a gun at him. Soon after, Valerie uses a taser to immobilize Teddy and arrests him on assault charges against a police officer. A hitman named Bob Vidic is watching Teddy from a distance. He was hired by one of Teddy's clients to assassinate him because he had stolen money and valuable documents. Consequently, Teddy's decision to surrender at the police station is an attempt to protect himself from Bob's pursuit. As soon as Teddy arrives at the station, he is searched. The police discover a large sum of money in his suitcase and documents. During the search, Valerie discovers a bullet wound in his stomach and asks what happened, but he prefers to keep his mouth shut. Next, the police chief, Coleman, arrives and orders all officers to get to work. Coleman receives a call informing him that one of his colleagues was hit by a drunk driver. Valerie tries to get Teddy to talk, but he remains silent about the incident. Coleman informs Teddy that they have found his abandoned car on the road. Teddy refuses to answer questions and requests to make a call. He contacts his girlfriend and tells her to leave town with their son immediately. Teddy is then placed in a holding cell and kept away from other inmates. The drunk driver, Bob, is arrested and put in a cell where Teddy notices his strange behavior. When Teddy asks why he was arrested, Bob drops his act and reveals himself as the hitman hired to kill Teddy. Teddy screams for help, but Bob threatens his wife's safety if he talks. Bob intentionally got himself arrested to get close to Teddy. Teddy offers him double the money to spare his life, but Bob refuses and intends to complete his mission. Meanwhile, a man named Huber who works with drug dealers receives a message from an unknown number. He collects a bag containing confiscated items including a device that starts emitting smoke, triggering the alarm. Bob's drunken cellmate taunts him, unaware that he is a dangerous murderer. Bob strikes him quickly and violently, causing him to vomit blood and creating chaos to draw police attention to his cell. The station chief, Coleman, comes in to assess the situation. He walks in and checks on the cellmate lying unconscious on the floor. As Coleman leans over to examine the situation, he is suddenly attacked from behind by Bob, who manages to grab the revolver tucked in Coleman's belt. Bob aims the gun at Teddy and fires multiple shots to kill him. Thankfully, Teddy dodges and hides under the bed. Valerie enters the scene unexpectedly, pointing a gun at Bob, and foils his plan to kill Teddy. She threatens to shoot Bob in the head unless he puts down the gun, and he complies with his hands tied to the iron bars of the cell. Valerie then helps transport Coleman and the injured inmate to the treatment room before returning to interrogate Bob and Teddy. Initially, both of them remain silent, but after Valerie threatens to put Teddy in the same cell as Bob, he confesses. Teddy reveals that he is a counselor who steals valuable goods and money from his wealthy criminal clients while committing numerous frauds. As a result, murderers are after him. Valerie glances at Bob, who is sitting on the floor with one cuffed hand. Teddy explains that he turned himself into the Nevada police station, but corrupt cops took him to the Nevada desert to kill him because he stole from their clients. Luckily, the FBI arrived just in time, and a shootout broke out between the corrupt Nevada cops and the FBI. Bob managed to escape in a police car, which is the escape referred to at the beginning. Valerie decides to contact Detective Dina Skier, a former colleague who served on the Nevada border, to verify Teddy's story. She asks if there had been a shootout between the police and the FBI near the Nevada border as claimed by Teddy. Valerie remains unaware that the policewoman is actually one of the corrupt agents tasked with finding Teddy. The policewoman lies to Valerie, denying any shootout ever occurred. Valerie then enlists the help of Officer Kimball to access Bob's profile in the police database. To their surprise, they find the profile of Anthony, a notorious killer who is known for his brutal and heartless murders. As they are searching for information, a delivery man carrying balloons enters the police station. Officer Kimball realizes that the delivery man is actually Anthony, the killer they were just reading about. Without warning, Anthony pulls out a gun and shoots Officer Kimball in the face, killing him instantly. He then starts shooting at any police officer who comes into his sight, taking them out with lightning speed. Valerie arrives at the scene just as Anthony is opening fire on the officers. She tries to reason with him and convince him to surrender, but he shoots her in an attempt to kill her. Valerie is injured but manages to make it to the cell room, where she locks the door for protection. She is now in the same room as Teddy and Bob, who are also locked up. Despite a barrage of gunfire, Anthony is unable to break through the bulletproof door of the cell room. However, Valerie is starting to lose her strength due to her injury, and she watches as Bob and Teddy sit in front of her. Suddenly, Officer Huber, who is escorting Coleman, shoots at both Teddy and the inmate. It turns out that Officer Huber is also a corrupt cop working with Anthony, and they both serve the same mob, which happens to be one of Teddy's clients. The mob wants to kill Teddy for swindling them, and now 2 assassins are after him, serving different clients. Officer Huber attempts to deceive Valerie by claiming that Anthony has left the police station, but she becomes suspicious and ignores him. Frustrated, Huber yells and walks away. Meanwhile, Anthony and Huber plan to break through the wall to Teddy's cell. They examine the floor plan of the police station before attempting to break through the barricade. Teddy convinces Valerie to let him go, promising to bring back a medical kit. She reluctantly gives him the key to his cell and a revolver to fight Anthony. When Teddy prepares to leave, Bob reveals that Anthony killed his family. Furious, Teddy storms out of the cell. While Huber continues hitting the wall, Anthony murders 2 police officers who arrive unexpectedly. Teddy emerges from the opposite direction and pursues Anthony and Huber. Valerie realizes Teddy's deceit when she hears gunshots from another room. Forced to release Bob, she soon learns that he has left to find Teddy. Suddenly, the power goes out, leaving the police station in complete darkness. Officer Huber attempts to evade Teddy's pursuit but is stopped by Bob, who takes Huber's gun and shoots him several times in the leg. Bob then uses Huber's body to lure Anthony into the room, where he starts a fight. Bob appears much younger than Anthony, who is already advanced in age. Due to Bob's lost firearm, he is compelled to engage in a hand-to-hand fight with Anthony, which is quite intense. Anthony attempts to stab Bob in the stomach with a knife, but Bob, who is more skilled in hand-to-hand combat, blocks the attack with his strength and lands a blow to Anthony's chest. Just as Bob is about to finish off Anthony, Teddy appears and fires a shotgun blast at Bob. Bob flees the scene, leaving behind a dying Anthony, and Teddy approaches him to deliver a fatal shot. Teddy then pours flammable liquid in the room and sets it ablaze before heading to the kitchen. In the kitchen, Valerie informs Teddy that she has already contacted the FBI to have him arrested. Teddy becomes irate and hurls a can of gasoline at her, but Valerie evades the attack and runs upstairs. Teddy pursues her, but Valerie shoots him in the chest and he falls down the stairs. As Valerie approaches him to check on his condition, Detective Dina, one of the corrupt police officers who had previously targeted Teddy, appears and shoots Valerie. Valerie, who is sitting weakly on a table, faces Detective Dina, who is advancing toward her with a loaded weapon. However, Bob arrives in time to rescue Valerie and shoots Detective Dina. Bob then approaches Teddy, who is already incapacitated, and delivers 2 fatal shots. Bob grabs Teddy's belongings, which the police had confiscated earlier, and helps Valerie to safety outside. He advises her to let it go. After leaving the scene, the FBI finally arrives at the police station. As Valerie is being transported by ambulance, she receives a radio call about a stolen police car. Valerie takes control of the ambulance and pursues Bob, who is driving leisurely on a deserted road near the Nevada desert. As they drive, they sing along to the same song playing on the radio. The end. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more content like this.